Wêreldomgewingsdag is die afgelope Saterdag gevier terwyl Junie as nasionale omgewingsmaand in Suid-Afrika bekend staan. Anton Lategan van EcoTraining gesels vanoggend oor die werk wat hulle doen rakende die opleiding van wildbewaring in die land. So good morning Anton and thank you for joining us here on the Groot Ontbyt.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
I would like to start with some background regarding EcoTraining. Just tell us more about it.
Thank you. EcoTraining is a very special organization in that we were founded in 1993 as South Africa went through democratic change. It was realized that we would become part of the international community. And EcoTraining was set up to try and empower and educate people about the environment. As the tourism industry would grow, we were founded out of the top game lodges in the Sabi Sands in South Africa. So we took that DNA and that the standards of operating and that professionalism, formed an organization that then pollinated professional guiding standards into the industry. And in the last 27 years, we've trained about 13,000 people in 11 different countries, mostly in Africa and around the world.
So in essence, what exactly does your training entail?
So it's quite a broad question because we do so many different types of training. Our cornerstone has always been in nature guide training. So there's different ecological components from geology, soils, plants, all the way through to pollinators and germinators and all sorts of the full ecological spectrum, which is key to I think, today's topic, in that we need to focus on the full spectrum of ecological interrelatedness, and I think that's where mankind has lost the plot a bit, in that we don't understand the bigger picture. So we cover all aspects of the ecology, and then of course there's the soft and hard skills associated with our work, which could be tracking, communication, dealing with guests, hospitality, communication. These are all important tools to be able to operate not only as a professional person in the industry, but as a responsible citizen in this world, be it the natural world or the modern professional world. But we also do a lot of courses for university study abroad programs from America. We train many groups of Chinese students on broader environmental issues. So to put it in a nutshell, we've got courses that are from 1 week to even up to 1 year in length. And we conduct them in areas such as the Masai Mara, all the way down to Makaleki Pafuri in the Kruger Park. So we really do cover a wide range of courses, if that answers your question adequately.
Absolutely. How can we reconnect with nature?
So, I'm quite a purist in my heart. And I think that the modern worldliness has created a society where we focus a lot on academic studies. And I think that's very respectable and respectful in terms of using our human mental faculties. And I have a massive respect for the scientific world. But I think we've gone quite cerebral, we've gone quite academic. And I think we've lost touch with just being natural and present. And I think that's where all of our natural human history was so connected to nature. So while I think we should continue with our scientific advancements, I think we also need to be present and look at this simple honesty of what we're doing to the planet. And whether you're a farmer or whether you're a mother or father raising kids, if you look around, or whether you're a politician, if you look around, you can see what our behavior is doing to the planet, which ultimately comes back and impacts all of us. So I just think we need to be humble and realize we are one species in a beautiful, beautiful system. And I think if we humble ourselves and don't impose on that system, not rely on people to make laws that impose on us either. What about being vulnerable and present and being aware of what's going on around us? I think that's got big merits in terms of connecting to nature. And in fact, that's where the future of humanity lies in terms of individual relationships, political relationships, sustainability arguments. We need to get back to the real world.
But what more can be done to create more awareness? Because I would especially like us to refer to the role of, some key role players such as schools and world leaders going forward or moving forward.
Yeah, well, as we live in the system, I think we should be very wary of appointing leadership in any areas that don't understand the importance of the environment. We should be quite discerning in our purchase choices. If we buy food or products, I'm not being political here, but we need to understand the impact of our purchase decisions throughout our lifestyles, and you can imagine what that involves. It's pretty much everything. I would start off with something a concept that I believe in, is that the huge human population is not actually the problem, it's part of the solution. If we can empower nearly 8 billion people to do their part, imagine what can be done. So to answer yourself practically, I think firstly, educate yourself. Understand what is an opportunity in your environment. I don't want to go through the cliches of, saving your bath water and getting the correct LED lamps and things like that. That's all should be a given by now. But look at your behavior and look at how businesses are run. Look at how financing deals are done. Look at how agriculture is practiced. Look at how we manage our behavior. And in fact, you can't isolate any one action. All of our behavior has to be accountable to the environment, or it will come back and bite us.
And what are some of our biggest challenges at the moment when it comes to nature?
The main thing, we live in an era of rhino poaching being such a prominent cause and problem, and I respect that. It's a what do you call it? An iconic species that represents survival, and I think that's very important to have those iconic species to carry a message. But our biggest challenge is to actually protect biodiversity. And I think people need to understand what ecological relatedness means in a holistic manner, in a holistic model, in order to understand the importance of biodiversity. So biodiversity is the protection of all life on Earth. But if we don't understand what we do to the soil, what we do to the air, what we do to the microorganisms that we don't even see, how that's got a roll-on effect on everything around us, we can't really tackle conservation by protecting one iconic species like a rhino if we don't understand some of the microorganisms that live on your skin are probably more important to the future of the world than a rhino is. But we're not educated in a sensible way anymore. So again, education, and that's why our organization, EcoTraining, has been pushing hard to try and reach into different corners of the world to create a new sense of awareness, which shouldn't be based on our eyesight perceiving that if something's big enough, it's important enough. The battle will be won and lost on real understanding that's not based on our limited eyesight. Yes. A lot of the smaller things are much more important than the bigger things, albeit rhinos are a beautiful creature and should also be preserved.
Anton, I would like to refer to World Environment Day that was celebrated over Saturday. And the Rooibos Council did something quite spectacular. There was a Rooibos tea art or project. Do you know anything about it? Can you tell us more about it?
Honestly, I wasn't aware of that. I'm stuck here in the bush in the greater Kruger with very little connectivity, so I'm probably not always the most informed about all these different projects. But what I'm just picking up from shooting from the hip here would be to celebrate an indigenous plant and the uses of that and the benefits of that. I strongly support that kind of thinking. For us to take some time to understand what the environment offers us and the nutritional and medicinal properties of plants like Rooibos that have become an iconic brand, in fact, in South Africa, I think that's wonderful. But I don't know about that particular project. But I really applaud people for understanding the benefits of those organisms, and that's a good example of what we need to do more of.
Well, we have shown a video now on screen, and it's quite remarkable, you know, simply to create awareness, and I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. I would like to refer to the United Nations message for the year, so I'm going to quote them now. With World Environment Day celebrated on the 5th of June 2021 this year, the United Nations message for the year is reimagine, recreate, restore. This is our moment. We cannot turn back time, but we can grow trees, green our cities, rewild our gardens, change our diets and clean up rivers and coasts. We are the generation that can make peace with nature. Let's get active, not anxious. Let's be bold, not timid. Join #Generation Restoration. So my question here, and we've got a couple of seconds left, but why are we the generation that can make peace with nature? And do you believe that we can conquer?
Yeah, exactly. So I support that United Nations mission. Because there's so many human beings on the planet, we need to actually empower those people. Imagine mobilizing, as I say, the 7.7 billion people to do good rather than to do negative, impactful things. That's where the difference can be won or lost. And in fact, the rate of degradation in our time requires us to act now for everyone and everything's sake.
Wow.
I think I just tackled one of the words there is recreate is not the doing of humans. And that speaks a bit about our human arrogance is we are one organism in a greater system. So it's not for us to recreate, it's for us to be humble and learn from a bigger system as one organism in this biodiverse system. So let's not think we're actually the creator. Let's actually think more humbly that we are one organism in a beautiful, beautiful web of life.
Thank you so much for your time. En dit was dan Anton Lategan van EcoTraining wat vanoggend met ons hieroor gesels het.